Well, one of the programs that we run is called the Maryland Offender Management System, which is funded by GOCAP. And we take databases from different criminal justice agencies. We have MOUs for data sharing with them, and we actually collate all this information into a single map that's accessible by law enforcement. And what we're doing with that is we now have very comprehensive criminal justice data set, but viewed spatially for the entire state of Maryland. And the surprising part is that we're doing it, to some respects, and but we do a good job at it. And it's actually, I think, easier for some of the state agencies to share the data with us. We're kind of a neutral location, and we have all the security in place and things like that. And we're just sort of adding more and more data to that. And it's really providing law enforcement I like to call it a situational awareness tool. So they can go into any section of Maryland, let's say it's Baltimore, could be Chestertown, and look at a community, look at a neighborhood, and if there's a sudden pattern of crime, they can then examine spatially, the different offenders or open arrest warrants that might be in that area, and they're really providing them clues for the police investigators to go use to solve crimes. We do a lot of work with domestic violence, which is Governor's number 6 priority to reduce domestic violence against women and children, which seems like a really good idea to me. And but previously, before we started messing with the data, so we want to talk about data. Well, no one had an exact finger on exactly where domestic violence was occurring in Maryland a few years ago. But now we can pull up and we can tell you exactly where every case of domestic violence occurred. We can look at where protective orders are issued, and we can start examining areas of the state where maybe there's a higher rate of domestic violence. This then allows the governor and his team to focus resources on those areas to help achieve the goals. Well, I would say one thing that a lot of people tell me, when did GIS start? And for me, I like to say, well, GIS started in 1782 at Washington College. And a lot of people don't realize that, back when the college was founded, really at the end of the American Revolution, but technically we were still at war with England, so I didn't sign the peace treaty until 1783. And I found a book that talked about some of the early classes at Washington College. And I'm flipping through this book, and I run across a section that says that for one semester, the students that were here learned surveying, navigation, ancient and modern geography, and globe making. So, and when you look at the literature, at the founding of our country, these were the kind of skills that the leaders of our country felt that the future leaders needed to know these skills. And, I look at what we're doing now, and I think we're doing the same thing. Now, technically, we're not doing globe making, although you could think of Google Earth as a globe, and it's kind of like globe making. But we're really teaching the same type of things to our students that were taught at the beginning of the college. And
that's right. Yeah, that's very cool.
So I think it's important that people know that.
Yeah.
And if you look at the world today, in my mind, the world is a much more dangerous place than it was back in 1782. But the reasoning behind having the future leaders, now back then it was just the young men of the country. Today it's the young men and women. But these are the kind of skills that I think are going to be very essential for them as future leaders. And I'm proud to be reinvigorating that sense at Washington College. So.